So what makes the three principles different from other wellbeing solutions, psychological techniques for happiness?
That's a really good question. The three principles as an application, and really using the word application is not quite right, because you're not really applying it to a person, you're really sharing it with the person. So the difference between using a technique to help somebody feel better, like using something like CBT, where you're actually trying to help the person reframe their thinking, or NLP, again, trying to reframe a person's thinking, so that if you think in a different way about that particular problem, then you're going to feel better. Well, with the principles, it's completely different, because with the principles, what you're doing is you're sharing an understanding which helps a person access their own innate health. And that's a whole different ballgame, because then a person can actually see their way to a solution to all their problems, not just the one that they've come to you with. So the person themselves manages to generalize that. They start seeing, well, this solution, this way of looking at my life, is actually a solution to all the things that I'm struggling with, not just one of them. And I've often had clients say that to me, you know, you've helped me sort out all the problems I've ever had in my life. Well, yes, of course, because this one thing, this understanding, runs so deep within us as individuals that it helps us see how we're creating that, how problems that arise in our lives are not really about the external circumstances. They're about us. They're about how we perceive those circumstances. So whereas a technique is going to be used in a way that it's applied to you, I'm going to apply this technique to myself, and when I have these problems, and that's going to help me get through these problems, as opposed to, now I can see where the problems are coming from. The problems are actually starting with me, they're starting with my perception of the difficulty. So I'm not saying that there's no difficulties in life, of course there are. Everybody has ups and downs. Everybody sometimes has very severe things to deal with, you know, sometimes very difficult problems in their lives. But when we start seeing that the solution lies within us, not outside of us, people don't need to come along for very long. You know, I'm not saying it's a quick fix, but it's a permanent solution, and that's the difference. It's not trying to fix somebody. It's trying to help people understand, help us all understand how we all create reality in the same way. So we don't need to actually apply anything. You know, there's no real application of the three principles. There's just an understanding of them, and the deeper that we as individuals understand the three principles, the easier our lives become.